So guys, it's an exciting day for the Evo today. I know you're probably thinking, Aaron, why the hell are the wheels off of this car again? Now, I did tell you in the previous episodes, I was going to get rid of them wheels. Them wheels are way too big, 18-inch wheels that were on there. Them rotors, they're really heavy. They just didn't suit the car at all. Black, didn't like them. Everyone was complaining about the colour. Thoughts about going to a white colour, maybe paint them white, but we never ended up doing because they was 18s, wanting to go back to 17s. So, got some new wheels for these today now. Quickly put in the comment section before you see the rest of the video, what wheels would you put on this car? They're 17-inch and they're going to be 9J, so big boy wheels, loads of grip, semi-slick tyres. Go down to the comment section and smash them comments. Tell me what you think are going to go on this car before I reveal them. So another little hint, so we've got semi-slicks on there at the minute, NS2R tyres, and these are a 9J wheel. So you can see here, they're actually really wide. It's hard to get a comparison of them until you look at them actual up close, but they are a 9J. You can see they're about as big as my hand. Grey, we've gone for grey. Might go for a different colour in the future, maybe white even. Going to be a nightmare to keep clean, but this is a really nice colour grey. So without further ado, I'm going to show you what wheels we've got. 9J Team Dynamic Pro Race 1.3. So you can see the dish on these, they're going to look amazing. So you can see it's in a graphite grey, they're absolutely mint. We had to get these second hand because Team D do not make these anymore, so we almost had to fight for these wheels because could not get a set anywhere. Wanted these for a long time, nothing come up, none of these sets come up. Could not buy them from Team D brand new, as I say, in the 9J fitment. So these are an ET35 by 9J. So we're going to get these on the car. Now you might notice as well, we've got 45 profile tyres on these. So we've got nice loads of meat. So we've got 17 with a 45 profile as opposed to an 18 with a 40 profile. So we've got loads of meat on these tyres now, loads of grips. You can see with the semi-slick tyres. Might go to a set of different tyres in the future, but for now these will do. What do you think of them? Going to get them on the car, mock them up. We've got to obviously adjust the height of the suspension. So 9J Team Dynamics Pro Race 1.3s, very lightweight wheel, much lighter than them rotors that were on there. Can literally just pick these up so easy compared. So hopefully get all four wheels spinning at some point. Obviously the same wheel that are on the Astra, but the Astras are not dished. You can see they're 7.5 or 8J, I can't remember now. I think they're 8J, but they don't have the dish as much. You can see they've got a little bit of dish on them, but they're nowhere near as dished as the 9Js. When you get the 9Js, obviously you've got the extra inch here, and it sort of makes it up in this spoke section. You can see on the 8Js, it's not quite as dished. So really excited to get these on. Can't wait to get these on. Let's get them on the car. Right, so in order to fit these wheels, we obviously need spigot rings. They ain't a direct to hub fitment on these. They're not custom machined hub inside. So you can see in here, I think it's got the writing on the outside of them. Inside bore is 73.1 and the Evo is 67.1. So they go inside there like that, and they take up the slack to hold this central inside the hub. So you can see it goes on there nice and tight, goes inside the wheel nice and tight, and that just holds it central, so you get no wheel wobble. So obviously these are essential to have. Right guys, there we go. So the car's dropped down on the ground now, and how much better does that look on them 17-inch wheels? And actually I'm liking the grey as well. It really goes with the car. Obviously we're thinking of doing them white, but that grey really is nice and aggressive, much better than the black. You can actually see them in videos and photos, and in person they look really good. So you can see how nice that grey is. Don't worry about these wheel nuts, they're going to be getting removed for studs and nuts that are on the way, so we're going to be changing them. Got to press all that lot out. It's a lot of hassle. So at the minute on the rears we've got 45 profile tyres. The car that these were on before had a 45 profile on the rear and then a 40 profile on the front. So the rears are absolutely spot on the way they fit, don't need no more adjustment. Obviously the arches have all been chopped out in previous episodes and the coilovers have been set perfectly, so the rear on them now is absolutely spot on. So moving on to the fronts is a little bit different. So you can see here on the front they've got a 40 profile tyre at the minute, which obviously got to be swapped out. So the Evos are supposed to run a 45 profile and a 17 all round. You can see these are 235 40, probably going to go for a 245 in the future as well. So when we change these fronts, they're going to be a 245 45, so there's going to be loads of meat on them, and you can see how much better they look. So you can see obviously the fronts look a little bit lost in there, and the rear's sitting there absolutely spot on. What I have done on the fronts to clear the calipers is put in some 5mm spacers. Now we've got some hub centric ones coming. These are just universal crappy spacers in at the minute, just to clear so we can move the car around and it's not stuck up on axle stands. But if you look at the rear, this is how the rear and the front is going to sit together. Absolutely spot on, and the dish of these wheels just looks so aggressive. So I love the dish. It's very hard to pick it up like when you're having a look at it from the top, but you can see how much the 9J actually dishes on the Team Dynamics, and I think it's a great look. So what do you think of that? Leave a comment in the comment section what you think of these wheels. Lightweight, meaty tyres, loads of grip. That is exactly what we want. Obviously they don't look nowhere near as big as the ones that were on it, the 18s, but that was not the purpose at all. This car is a full performance car. It's not supposed to be looking stance, but if you can make it look aggressive as well, we will. So in the future we're going to put a splitter, rear diffuser on it, stuff like that, just to make it look a little bit more aggressive. But then 9Js, absolutely spot on in there. It's weird because when you put them on the car, they look a lot smaller than they are. So when you have them off the car, they look really meaty and big. And when you put them on the car, obviously it's a decent chunky car, and they do look a little bit smaller. I don't think the profile of the front helps. The rears are absolutely spot on. So don't really need to change anything on this rear. As you can see, absolutely spot on. I'm going to leave it like that on the rear, and we're just going to mess around with the front. So the fronts have to be dropped down a little bit, and then a meteor profile tyre on there, 5mm spacers, and it'd be absolutely perfect. So it's actually hard to tell the stance of a car in a video because the video doesn't really project it very well, but if you look at the car from where I was standing just then, it just looks so wide and aggressive. Cannot wait to actually get it absolutely perfectly set up, but for now it really looks good and it's drivable. That's the most important part. Car's drivable as it is like that, and as I say, the most important part about it is it's actually drivable, it's actually movable. Still looking for a non-carbon bonnet for this car. So if you have a race car and you want a carbon bonnet, drop me a message on Instagram or on YouTube and I'll do a straight swap for this carbon bonnet. Need this bonnet gone, don't want this carbon bonnet on there anymore. Perfect for a race car, it's just no good for a car like this. So you can see it's in relatively good condition. You know, you could probably sand it down, give it another lacquer or buff it up. I ain't even tried to buff it, it'll probably buff up nicely. Get rid of this carbon bonnet, really don't want it on there anymore, and get a nice painted white one on there. So also we're going to paint these wing mirrors white, these Ganadors. Was thinking of getting rid of them, getting standard ones on there, but I just don't like the look of standard ones, they look too boxy. These are genuine Ganador wing mirrors. Going to paint these white, think it would go with the theme of the car. Obviously we're going for that fresh look, a little bit of aggressive. We're going to put a splitter on the front, diffuser on the back. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but there's some really cool diffusers you can get at the minute. Kind of like fake ones like the Evo 9s have got, where they actually sort of chop out that splitter and the diffuser sort of goes in there and around there. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. And you might notice as well, debadged the rear. So the badges were all over the place. They was in the wrong positions. You can see it was the wrong badges, so the only one I've left on there is the genuine Mitsubishi one. You can see the Evolution was in the wrong place. Still got the soot and everything, needs a proper buff and detail underneath the cover, really filthy. You can see the colour of the paint underneath the stickers, nice and white, which we'll get it to in the future, that's not a problem. You can see the badges are all over the place. Debadged it, looks loads cleaner on the rear. Obviously it will look a lot cleaner when it's actually buffed up and back to white again, but really happy with the stance of the car. Let me know in the comment section what you think. So currently the Evo's arch spats just pull off because whoever's had it in the past just literally yanked them off instead of taking them off properly, and they ended up gluing it all on along here, but I've had to take all the glue and the sticky adhesive off. But you can see they snapped all the little clips that go into the back of the arch spats itself. There's 5 on each side. So went out and got genuine Mitsubishi ones. I think these are like £2.70 each, which is ridiculous for little clips. But went out and bought, I think, 10 of them, so 5 for each side now. Let's get these fitted. So some of you might remember from previous episodes, I'm still after a set of these arch spats for these Evo 5. After someone had literally hacked them up with a grinder, like a flat disc, had no idea what they was doing, and absolutely destroyed them. But they look okay when they're on the car. It's just I can't be dealing with that mess. If you have got a set, let me know. We'll buy them off you. So going to fit these clips on here now, get these nice fresh clips on here, get rid of these old ones, get these back on the car, and you'll be able to undo these properly from behind like they should have been done in the first place. Let's give these a quick clean up. All 10 clips fitted. That should be nice and solid on there now. Massively improved the rear of this car with that dish on the rear. We'll be able to go over there, 235s on it at the minute. We're going to go 245, so they'll just feel that arch a little bit more. I don't think there's going to be any scrubbing. It's not super low. You can see it sits in there absolutely perfectly. From the side angle it looks even better, and I love the way that the Evo spoiler, the Evo 5 spoiler, actually kinks forward. It's one of my favourite features on the Evo 5. The way that spoiler kind of kinks forward is very unique. So check this quality product that I've just received. So you can see here, this is a stock oil cap for the VXR. Obviously it's black and the Z20 letter is yellow. So what ends up happening is, if you do these lugs up at a wrong angle or too tight, whatever, these tabs themselves actually snap off. You can see there's barely any plastic material there. Or what ends up happening as well is they wear and they don't clamp down the oil cap very tightly. You can see that seal around there, that wears as well. You have to keep replacing them, so you have to replace the whole unit. In the future, you're not going to be able to buy these caps. Obviously Opel was pulled out of Europe. It's now PSA with Peugeot. So quality products like this on the market, an absolute godsend for these engines. So you can see here, this is a billet oil cap made out of one solid lump of aluminium, and you can see the high quality it is. It's actually a proper work of art. A lot of engineering gone into this, and you can see that's never going to snap off. It's a super tight fit. I've just fitted it to the car and it fits really tight. There's absolutely no oil leaks going to be happening with this. I'll show you it on side the rocker cover as well, but look at the quality of that. So I'll leave a link in the description too. You can buy these from. Go and grab yourself one while you can. Well, so let's fit this to the car. So you can see I've just lubed up around this seal just to give it a little bit of lubrication, because this rubber is such a tight fit on these. No leakage. I know you don't really see this car a lot on the channel. You try and get some more videos of this car. It's a high spec engine, you can see here, forged, cammed, big ported head, EDS. It's pretty much got everything you can imagine. Just really needs a big turbo setup. It's got like a stage 3 KO6 or whatever on it at the minute, 350, 360 horsepower. Really nice setup. I'd like to put a bigger turbo on it in the future, just so that we've got some more videos and more content to put out there. So if anyone wants to supply me with a tubular manifold, say T25 or V-band, I'll stick a big turbo on this, maybe a GT30 or whatever, and we'll have some fun with it. It's, the engine's ready to go, ready to put some more power into it now. So let me know. So it's really nice to get to a stage now where the car is just a turnkey car and starts up perfectly, and we can start removing crap out the engine bay, like this expansion tank's not needed. Going to start looking at moving these wiring about, start tucking it in the wing, etc. Also, don't need this blow off valve as well, rather just have turbo chatter. It's a nice big turbo, don't need it. So we've blanked that one off as well with a V-band blank. You can see there it's got a nice sealing ring on it, but we can just go over this, as you can see here now, just start tidying things up. All this lot's got to come off the back of this bulkhead at some point. Really not looking forward to that job, that's why it's been put off. Got the sand deadening I really want to remove as well, but it's behind all of these brake lines and everything. I know that these clips are all going to start breaking as soon as I touch them. But this engine bay, I know like it looks quite clean, but it really does my head in. Really, it can be a lot tighter than it is. You know, there's still wiring everywhere. You know, it has to be cable tied all over the place. This fuse box needs to go, it's stressing me out.